Sitaram everybody and welcome to Satsang. Here at the Sri Krishna Seva Ashram, we wanted to do Satsang as we are getting ready for Shivratri. To give people the knowledge, a little more insight into Lord Shiva, his teachings, his history, his katha, so as to inspire you as we get ready for Mahadev's night or the Shivratri itself. A common problem, people wish to worship, people want to do their prayer, they want to do the correct thing, but they don't know God. Part of Sankhya Yoga is knowing God, knowing his features, his history, his teachings. Why are the things that exist, the way he looks, the way he speaks, the way he wears different things on his body. Do you remember we did the discourse about the Rudraksh when Sati Mata is burning and the body is being turned into flame and embers, that Lord Shiva tears fall upon the earth, and this is where the Rudraksh originate from. We've done discourse in different times where Ganga Mata originated from, and how she ends up in here correlates to that Saraswati discourse where we were talking for Saraswati Jayanti about the formation of the Saraswati River, where Lakshmi, Ganga and Saraswati, they get into a little squabble. And at the end of it, they say, Ganga, you go and live on the head of Shiva. You go and remain there and let part of your form come upon the earth. If a person does not entertain this amount of knowledge, if you don't grow in your knowledge and your understanding of Mahadev Baba, when Shivratri comes and you're sitting in your temple with your Baba or in your home, maybe in your puja room, for those of you abroad, because of restrictions, we can't go place to place. When you sit and say, yes, I believe in Lord Shiva, I believe in prayers, I believe in God, what exactly do you believe in when you don't know God? When you don't know what he stands for? When you don't know his teachings? What are you following? Are you following just an image? Are you following what your father teach you to do? Or what Guruji told you to follow? Or what the crowd is doing? That's what we'll do. There are many examples of that. Many. A popular example, you'll hear about it from elders. When somebody died in the home and they put the diya on top of the kalsa in the dead man's room, long ago, people used to follow other religion. They used to take flour and ashes and coat the floor of the dead man's room, the Hindu, and lock the door, and the next day we'll open the door. And if you see in that flour or that ashes, you see a horse footprint, a chicken footprint, whatever type of footprint, that means the person who has died has been gone to heaven, now born back on the earth, because we as Hindus believe in reincarnation. And not only born as a baby, but born as a fully grown horse with only one foot to give you an imprint in that flower. So a one-footed horse, my mother has been reborn, dear God, by imprinting in now in the flower, a one-footed horse. Hindu people used to believe in that. And as time passed and Garud Puran and Pundits taught and people, most important, listen. Because Pundits could be blowing knowledge in the wind. But if you don't go after the knowledge, if you don't seek that Gyan, then it is of no help. It is of no use to you because it is totally above you. With this in mind, in Gita, Lord Krishna says, Karma Yoga, doing, the act of doing is very good. Very wonderful. I am doing Arati for Lord Shiva. Good job. But as I did on the online satsang the other day, the value of why we light the diya. Which one is better? The one where the wick is in the middle or the wick is on the end? The different things to make with the wick. What is the purpose of lighting the diya? What is the purpose of the different oils? I've seen people use mustard oil. I've seen people use sarsoon oil. Another name for mustard oil. Coconut oil, ghee. What's the difference? What does it yield? And why do we wave the light? Think about it. I don't know. I just know everybody say Arti. But if I never study why I Arti, or what these things are for, or why the Tariya is made of metal, and my Aji used to quarrel, shine the Bharata, make sure your Tariya shine. Why? But it's only when we go to school we learn about metal having to be freed from the oxidation or what makes it dull, so that it can conduct electrical energy. Electrical energy. From the Murti Shakti, please come to my head, please come to my body and charge my body with that positive energy. When I'm bowing, dear God, I just bow to my forehead, I don't bow to my elbow, because my head houses the brain where the decisions, where all my likes and dislikes, my good and bad behavior live right here. Dear Lord, in your positive energy, may you please influence my decision making and guide me, this fool in this life. Today you'll hear, as we get into, I'm reading from Shiv Puran, Rudra Samhita or Yudakan, chapter 44. We're starting there. In the course of these 3 nights, as you'll be viewing, we'll be doing different discourses. Today I'm talking about Lord Shiva protecting his wife. Pay close attention to the husband type of behavior in Mahadev Baba. Then we will hear about when they fight and fall out. She'll buff him tomorrow. Because in marriage, there are those rough days. But as we see domestic violence and other types of problems plague society, you see this restriction that COVID caused, husbands were home, wives were home, and we never had so much conflict. Throughout this world, marriages were falling apart as people had to share the same space for longer than usual times. Some people really couldn't handle being together. So from our discourse today, let's just start to touch on how to, things like arguing, another day discourse, how to talk, how to appreciate the lady's body. You'll hear Lord Shiva learn a lesson. These 3 nights are to gear you with knowledge towards your Shivratri. When you look at him and you worship him, the intention is you must understand what he represents. And if you are a true devotee of Lord Shiva, my objective is for you to start following his footsteps, take his training and change your life for better. There are many examples between this husband and wife. Lord Shiva is our favorite actor, and he's showing us in this form what marriage is supposed to be. Today, we begin this 3 nights with the support of the team at Sankhya. Thank God for our sponsors. You will see them listed, and they will do an ad at the beginning and at the end. God bless the team at those companies for supporting this type of venture where we are doing it for the onlooking public. There's nobody here. This place is empty because of restriction. My cameraman is in a mask. So much has changed in the course of a year. But our prayer must go on. Your knowledge must continue to build. So we use a different method to get the same endpoint. We are going to Lord Shiva. Shivratri is coming. I hope you're ready. Let's begin as we enter into Shiv Puran Simran today, as we are about to read the discourse dealing with that personality called Andaka. Let's put our hands together. Those of you looking on and you repeat, you can still clasp your hands and pray to Lord Shiva. That's all we're doing. Om Gajananam Bhutaganadi Sevitam Kapeta Jumbo Palachara Bhakshitam Umasutam Sho Kavinashakarakam Namami Veganeshwara Padapankajam Sarvamangala Mangalye Shive Sarvata Sadhike Sharanye Trayambike Gauri Narayani Namostute. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Guru Brahma Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Umapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Sometimes people think that Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati only have two children, Ganesh and Kartik. But there are many examples, many people that were uplifted. And Mother Parvati always say, I accept this individual. I take this person as my child, as my son, as my daughter. Nandi, there are many, many people like that. Some of them have with them supported a wonderful discourse. And discourse is that give, just by listening to the discourse, blessing. Today we'll enter one such discourse. And tonight, as you listen, I want you to pay attention to Lord Shiva's protective ways when it comes to his wife. Sometimes, as a Pundit, yes, we get calls about birthdays, anniversaries, and weddings. But if you do a survey with your Pundit or any other Pundit, you will realize that people is called Pundit to tell the worst, the horrific stories, the horrible times that some people experience. And in one of our nights, we're doing a play, and I want to illustrate some of these things to touch on a very sensitive topic. Today, I want to just talk about how we are supposed to be in marriage, how protective you are supposed to be of your spouse. But as we begin, let's hear what's going on with Lord Shiva, and then we'll discuss it at how it is applicable to our day-to-day life. Let's do the Sumaran for the Shiv Puran before we enter into our discourse. This is a prayer where you are seeking permission to listen to the holy words of Mahdi Baba. And by listening or practicing that yoga of Shravanam, where you are listening to prayer, where you are looking at prayer, all these different things, all are equivalent and beneficial in gaining blessings. Dear God, because of the times we cannot journey to be in the temple, we cannot be in the place where your murti, where your puja is being done, but our prayer, our ability to listen to prayer still goes on. The work continues so much that right now we are under suppression because of sickness. And I want to make this abundantly clear. Somebody says, Pundit, but you know, everybody doing satsang, everybody doing prayers. Well, if they choose to endanger themselves, and I am answering, the person asked me this last night, I'm answering today on television. If you want to be reckless and invite young children or very elderly senior people that could be complicated with health, to come and sit down in a crowd and blow and breathe on one another, because the Baba want a Siddha, or they want the accolade of saying I have a huge crowd in my prayers as the host, do it. But Garud Puran is the guiding text. Coming to the latter part of the Pret Manjali, he says this body is a gift based on the karma that a person works life after life to attain. Janam after janam, you accumulate good. And then God bless you with this human frame, more so with the mind that gives you the ability to say there is a God. I am limited in my capacity, and He is the super capacity. From Him I will draw energy, as I said in the beginning, and I will be able to overcome the impediments that are in my life. This body is something, it says, this body is something that's supposed to be with great effort maintained. It is supposed to be safeguarded. It is supposed to be in some way protected. You don't go and commit suicide. You don't go and do things that are endangering your body or harming your life or others. You don't encourage other people to harm themselves. Based on the words of Lord Vishnu, I have continued to make a decision that if we are doing prayer, like Saraswati Jayanti, so we did a group of 10 people. We staggered the amount of groups, sanitized, allowed the air conditioner to come off so we could change the air, because we have to be responsible with people's life. This is an example of what we experience when we go to do somebody's wedding or funeral. Baba see the man up the road, he do this. Imagine in Trinidad and other parts of the world. The man wants to do the female role in the wedding and the lady wants to do the male part in the wedding. If you don't stand firm by the guidance of your text, then anything could happen. Then anybody could do anything however they wish. And the standards that we hold near and dear, it will fall to pieces. Therefore, if the law of the land says that we need to practice a little difference for the meantime, just as how we are practicing the differences with the Dash Gatra, instead of going to the river, we are doing it at temples, then we follow the rule of law. Then we maintain the practice of law. That is one of the teachings of Sanatana Dharma. So, whilst I would love to have everybody, this Pundit does not want to encourage a crowd. And then here, well, I went by Baba and look, somebody gets sick and God forbid, somebody dies. We must be responsible and I hope you understand why. Let's join together with our Sumiran. Gauri Shankara Pada Kamala Prema Sahita Hiyale Srimad Shambhu Puranya Ke Bhasha Rachahu Shubha Shruti Sambeda Anadi Shiva Samba Sachidananda Nirguna Brahma Vilaka Ek Dhyayami Sukhakan Jai Ke Maya Paya Jaga Baupalan Layaho Swayambhu Swayambhu Jasubala Pavat Gauravado Tiniko Madhav Ravi Gana Desha Shiva Yuta Dhyan Prema Sahita Kar Jora Kara Savahina Vahushesh Mata Pita Guru Bharati Veda Vyasa Munesh Prema Sahita Kar Jora Kara Savahina Vahushesh Sapta Sanghita Sahita Shri Shiva Puran Sukhadan Bhukti Mukti Daya Sugam Bhaktana Jivan Pran. Everybody, Gauri Shankar Parakamala Prema Sahita Hiyale Srimad Shambhu Puranya Ke Bhasha Rachahu Shubha. Prem se bolo Mahapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Let's all join together as we do a couple of verses in praise of Lord Shiva. Manas prayer, Shiv Manas Stotra is a prayer that you will be chanting on the night of Shivratri. Shiv Manas Stotra caters for the person who might have a stroke, the person who cannot reach to touch the Murti. Maybe life is not there. Maybe the strength is not there. What can I do? I can pray in my mind and I'll see. In the prayer says, I see you in the recesses of my mind, in the darkness of my mind. I see, I am bathing you with the milk. I am feeding the prasad to your mouth. I can see me massaging you with this heart, with the hardi. I'm rubbing your skin. I'm putting chandan on your forehead. When hands cannot reach to a mandir, when your body cannot reach to the place of Tirat, you can still find Mahadev here. Just a couple of verses, everybody put your hands together. Ratne kalpita masanam himajale Snanam cha divyambaram Nanaratna vibhushitam Rigumada Modankitam chandanam Jati champaka bilva pattarachitam Pushpam cha dupam tathat Deepam devaдаyanidhi Pashupati Hrikalpitam gruyatam. Dear Lord, I adorn you with wonderful robes when I bathe you, after bathing you with water. I dress you with gems, I dress you with the sandal paste. I put all forms of perfume on your body. I'm seeing myself put flowers in your hair. I am putting a mala of bay leaves, all the different jasmine flowers, parijat flowers, accept all of them, Prabhu, as I imagine in my heart and my mind your worship. Sauvarane navaratna kandarachite Patre grutam payasam Bhakshayam pancha vivedyam payudadi yutam Ramba palam panakam Shakanam yutam jwalam ruchikaram Karpur kandu jwalam Tambulyam manasmaya virachitam Bhakta Prabhu Srikar Karu. Sweet rice, I feed you to your lips in a golden bowl. This bowl has gems, I'm seeing it, Prabhu. All the different types of sweets, things made with dahi, things made with fig, bananas, vegetables I have cooked for you, rose-scented water, camphor in the water, and I am feeding these things to your lips, dear Lord. May you please accept it all. May you accept this mind type, manas type devotion. May you accept what I offer, and may you accept me. Umapati Mahadeva ki Jai. With this type of thought, with this type of thinking, we enter, as I said, chapter 44, where Sanat Kumar, that son of Brahma, is giving discourse. Where we reach in Shipran, he had now finished explaining Hiranyaksh, Hiranyakashipu, and all the different battles that they had with Lord Vishnu. Hiranyaksh is now dead. Hiranyakshipu is also dead. Narsingh had destroyed him by the prayer, by virtue of the prayer of Prahalad. And Narad wants to know, when Hiranyakashipu is destroyed, Prahalad is still a boy. Who sits on the throne in the interim before Prahalad, Alahadad, Sambhad, all the brothers, because Prahalad had other brothers? Who sat on the throne in the interim whilst Prahalad was growing up? What is the story of this individual, the history? I've heard that there is some correlation, some interaction with Lord Shiva, making this person great as Prahalad is growing. Long before Prahalad was the old king that would one day bless his grandson, when we hear about the dwarf form of Lord Vishnu coming to the grandson of Prahalad, Bali. Prahalad is still a young boy, and Sanat Kumar is going to teach Narad what happened. Let's join together, everybody, in the comfort of your home. Pray tonight to Lord Shiva. Jai Bole Baba Tab Sharanam, Jai Bole Baba Tab Sharanam, Jai Bole Baba Tab Sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam. Tato Hiranyaksh Suputra Safala Putra Kachit Ye Shravanto Narga Ye Yuta Andaka Sur तीरते राजन ये आती, जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय भोले बाबा
तब शरणम,
जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम, किन्नर राजन गंधर्व सिद्ध, ये ना हिरण्यक्ष सुत प्रहलाद, हिरण्यशिखु प्रहलाद ये तम, किन प्रिया नरक ये आती, जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम, जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम। उमापति महादेव की जय। I hope you're saying jai with me, everybody. He says once, when Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu had been destroyed, there was a meeting amongst the brothers, Prahlad, Aharad, Sambad, all of them together. And there was one person invited to sit in this circle, someone by the name of Andaka. Prahlad makes a statement to Andaka, and he says, oh brother, it is so unfortunate that you are helpless. You are an invalid. You are born blind. Your body is very weak. You are very ugly, hideous looking person. Because of your hideous look, your downtrodden history, our Father took pity upon you. And He accepts you as Safal Brata, as the step-brother, as His son, as a stepson, adopted son. You have become our brother by this means, but you are incapable of ruling this nation. Now Andaka was older than Prahlad. And he was the one who was supposed to be the regent or the king in the interim for the real king Prahlad to take the throne. Andaka begins to cry and goes, he leaves that circle. And he goes and he starts to do prayer. The brothers discussing among themselves, can a person who is not the true son of the king aspire to rule the kingdom? Can that person who cannot control their own body, can that person rule anything or anyone? How will he rule anybody when he cannot even see the face of his enemy? How will he be able to lift a sword, much more the sword of my father? How will he fill these shoes? He will be overrun by enemies and neighboring kings very easily. Who will rule our kingdom? Andaka became very distressed, very depressed as well. Listening to the words of his brothers, that very night he went into the dark, dense forest and started to perform Gyan to Brahma. For a very long time he sat there. Then, as time is going, his body begins to wean away. The skin starts to shrivel. The skin is starting to lose its strength, its marrow. The body starts to shrink. Veins are showing under the surface of the skin, the way he has become thin. And like this, for many years, he continued to do this type of worship. Not eating, not drinking, simply practicing taking in the atoms in the air and surviving on that energy. And in this way, his body becomes very sparse, very weakened. And the devatas, after a long time, they realized that they were testing his girth, his merit, to see if he would stay to his prayer. Remember, in Hinduism, we don't have a devil. In other religion, good comes from God, and the devil does all the bad things that happen to us. so is other religious beliefs. We say it in our own language. You always hear people say, oh, you see that? The devil is a busy man. But our devatas, our God, the concept is very similar to what we live in this life. Let's use my mother, for example. My mother, when it is Christmas and birthday, she's the loving lady. Birthday, cake coming, food cooking, loving. Great job, great job. Exam pass, good job, happy lady, smiling lady, kissing. But that same mother, when I make mistakes, she becomes the disciplinarian. The same person. What does our devatas show? Is that yes, when things are good, they reward you for good. But that Durga Mata, that same lady, she says, when you do bad, I will take the 16 form we refer to as Sodas Matrika. When Shashti Mata is happy, children will be born, easy marriage. When she's not happy, miscarriage, stillbirth, children give trouble, they get sick, ill, die. When Savitri is happy, married people get married, happy marriage, easy marriage. When she's not happy, trouble in marriage. And like that, mother takes forms that could reward or punish, depending on how near you live. The mother is showing what a parent really is. When you do good, they are good. When you do something that is not as good, they have to pull you straight. And in our text, the same exists. The devatas, Brahma and others were watching to see, will he deviate from his prayer? Will he break or give up? Will he hold fast? And Andaka, although born in the family of Danavas, he holds to his prayer. And one day, Brahma appears. He says, oh miserable Danav, listening to your words, I have come here. Your brothers, those cruel boys, Prahalad and others, they have robbed you of the opportunity of being the king of your kingdom. What you have undergone is very hurtful. But nonetheless, I applaud the way you have done your prayer. Please ask me for whatever blessing, boon, ashirwad, whatever you wish to have. I am so happy with you. O son, ask for it. Placing his hands together. He says, a blind person like me should regain his sight. Let all the devatas bow their heads and pay taxes to a king like me. Let me become most invincible against the devatas, the daityas, Gandharvas, Yaksh, Nagas, and mankind. I should not be able to be destroyed by none of their hands. Even Indra, Vishnu, Shiva, none of them, don't let none of them be able to kill me. Listening to this, Brahma tells him, O great king, referring to him now as king, O great king, everything that you have said is fine, except whatever is born has to die. You have to have a way that you are going to depart this world. Listening to the words of Brahma, he says, O excellent one, whenever the most excellent woman, whether she is mature, middle-aged, or young, I will look at all of them as mothers. But when I become lost in lust, when I become desirous of a woman who is beyond the reach of persons, mentally, by speech, by action, from whom as an Asura, as a deity, as a Danav, I should not encroach on such a woman. When that happens, I will meet my destruction. I accept that. Listening to these words, Brahma feeling happy, pleased by what he has said. He says, O son, you get all that you desire. O great king of Danavas and Daityas, you get up and enjoy your desires. You should always be valorous. You should always be the victor in your fights. In this way, when Andaka stood up, remember I told you how his body had become as if he was starved. You could imagine. He says, Prabhu, what will I enjoy with my body like this? How will I be able, imagine when his hand like this, the skin alone remains, it's flapping in the air. How will I be able to have any victory when my body is like this without flesh? By your touch, Prabhu, however, I could be restored. Please touch me and give me back the strength, the youth, the look that I once had. Heal my eyes, heal my body, and allow me to be on the best footing now to enjoy what I have earned. And by the fingertip of the index finger, by the touch of that finger, Andaka got back all his amenities, his faculties, everything, as if he was renewed, reborn, now better than ever. Now with eyes being restored, he returns to his city. And when Prahalad and all of them who were young saw him more valorous, more capable, more able, they became subservient to him. So Andaka becomes the king as Prahalad is growing. Andaka with all the armies now, everybody is under him, and they are all listening to him. They charge against Indra. They wage war knowing that he's protected from them. Let's hear what happens. Jai Bole Baba Tab Sharanam, Jai Bole Baba Tab Sharanam, Jai Bole Baba Tab Sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam. ज्ञानीति की नारातम शुभ पात्र यरमानाते सुख करना भवे सिद्ध्य साध्य ये कौध्ययातम जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम उमापति महादेव की जय. Together with all his hordes, with his forces, they charge all the Loks, all the Gandharva, Yakshas, great holy people that live in the upper regions. They too have to become subservient to him. He enjoys, wherever he goes, he enjoys victory. Without any hindrance, without any abatement, he is allowed to rule and very ferociously destroy those that would oppose him. He becomes very polluted, deluded, and blinded by pride. And what? Spoiled by his association with wicked people. People, why are they wicked? Because they encourage him in wrong. Because they encourage him to maintain his bad habits. Not one advisor in his court cautioned him. Not one told him to hold back, restrain himself. Don't destroy the innocent people. Instead, becoming more and more intoxicated with riches, he disregarded the same prayers he used to say, disregarded the prayerful people, the brahmanas, other people, women, children, brahmacharis. He defiled all of them. He told his soldiers to rape the gurus. He had no humility. He made the gurus bow to him. Overpowered by these things, he was making misfortune come to him. Death is on its way. He maintained his life following this type of bad ways. And at one point on the Mandachal mountain, his workers, people by the name of Hasti, Vaidashya, Duryodhana, they were roaming the place, going quickly to see a place, to see what it had before he would come to visit there. Is it deserving of his visit? Is it beautiful enough? So they went to scout ahead. And while scouting in a cave, they saw somebody sitting in the Dhyana Mudra Asana. He had the moon on his head, elephant skin wrapped around his waist, serpents coiled around his arms, his neck, all over his body. He has a munda mala, a skull, a mala made of skulls strung together. His hair is made with matted locks, and he has a trident and bows and different forms of weapons close by. His hands have rosaries made of the Rudraksh bead. And in this way, this four-handed form, very fair. His body is covered with the ashes, the bhasma. This ascetic, who is he? With these features, why is he equipped with all these weapons? He has a bull that he's riding. All these things are not for ascetics, not for praying people. If you are a hermit and you're living in a forest and you're giving up everything for the prayer, why have weapons? And close by, after they see him, they see a beautiful, another ascetic in a female form, a very beautiful damsel, young, beautiful. She has gems in her hair. She is richly adored with all forms of coral, pearls, jewelry, beautiful dress, fine clothing. It seems that after seeing her, Sanakumar, these three workers, they become spellbound. And their only way to go is to go quickly to tell Andaka Raj of what they had seen. She happens to be the wife of the ascetic who is in the cave. We were watching, and she maintains him. She brings things for him and takes care of all his needs. Sanakumar says, listening to these words, Andaka's body started to shake as he himself, with lust, with that type of desire, he wants to go and see, who is this? What is this? I who enjoy every woman I see, every beautiful thing I want, I take it. And if the woman does not want to give me her body, I take that too. So powerful am I, Andakasur, that I can rape and pillage anybody that I want. Nobody can tell me no. This Daitya king, Andakasur, the son of Hiranyaksh, the Lord of all the Loks, is coming to see who is in the cave. Who is this woman? And he says, you know what, before I go, you send a message to that ascetic. So the three of them go back to where the hermit is in the cave, sitting. And they wait. And when his eyes open, Lord Shiva eyes open, who is Lord Shiva? The hermit in the cave. They begin to speak. Let's hear what happens. As trouble is about to come to this king, he has just, you know, there's an old saying, I remember Pundit Krishna saying this, and it never left me. The person who taught me prayers, Pundit Krishna from Sisters Road in Trinidad. One day, me and his son, Pundit Jisnu, we were still doing our degree, and he was quarreling with us, to be honest. He was quarreling with us when we were choosing our degree, we choosing craziness. Long story short. And he makes this statement, don't trouble until trouble you. And I always remember that. And these people just went and trouble. Let's hear what happens in this verse. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita
Namastasye
Namo Namah Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu
Shakti Rupena Samstita
Kedam Sharirang Tva Basmadhadyam Kapala Mala Bharana Virupam Tunira Karm Koti Bhashmam Bhanaye Bhushaye Yati
Ya
Devi Sarvabhuteshu
Shakti Rupena Samstita
Namastasye Namastasye
Namastasye
Namo Namaya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita Prayascha Narimam Santva Purana Ye Stitya Ye Tapkin Kuravesha Vedaye Yati Ayukta Mitaye Vyatam.
Ya Devi
Come on, everybody, let's sing together a little bit. Shakti Rupena Samstita Shri Adi Shakti Mata Ki Jai. When Lord Shiva opens his eyes, the three emissaries speak with a tone of Abhiman. O intelligent one, who is your father? No sitaram, no namaste, no good morning, how you going? No manners. Why are you sitting here? And who is the father of that beautiful girl on the side? Today we are the workers of that king Andakasur, and you have to give that girl to him in dawn. Why is your body smeared with ashes? Why do you wear a garland of skulls? What is wrong with you? Why do you look so dreadful? How could somebody so ugly get somebody so beautiful? If you are an ascetic, why do you have sword, weapons, missiles, trident, vraj, all these things here? Who do you want to fight? Oh, person who has the Ganga flowing in his hair with the moon on his head. Why do you have different kind of bones stuck in your hair? Why do you have serpents with their tongue hissing venomous fumes around your neck? How do you expect to get close to a beautiful woman like that? Oh, you stupid person, don't you know it is inauspicious to ride an old bull? Look at her. Look at that Parvati. Who is Parvati? They didn't call her name. Look at that person. She is as if she is the sun at 12 o'clock, in the midday, in the highest point. She is full with light, giving brightness and luster to all those that come. And you look like the sun when it's setting. You have no beauty, you have no luster. You are like your face is like the thorny apple. The thorny apple is the seed from the datur plant with all the picker. You look ugly. You have no scent. You are like that flowers. You have no benefit to nobody. Listen to me. Take my advice and heed my warning. Don't let my king reach here. You will be overpowered in one push, and she will be taken in any case. Oh dear one, because you are a calmly sitting person, we are giving you an opportunity to give away your wife. Oh foolish one, how do you perform tapasya to this extent and have this woman? Don't you know that is impossible? Then do what is proper for you and give that woman to my Lord, the Lord of all the loks. At this utterance, in case you disobey him, and in case you disobey my command, you will be deprived of your life. Lord Shiva, well versed in the worldly conduct, being the Lord of the universe, treating with Andakasur with all his false wisdom and evil wisdom, listening to the words of the emissary, spoke to them. He says, in case I am more than what you see, in case inside of me I am Rudra, why do you engage in this falsehood? Do you think you can attack me? Do you think you can destroy me? O little one, O child, speaking such words is not proper for you. You better listen to my prowess. I have no appearance. Remaining ugly and foolish, I am performing Pashupat Vrat in these caves, which could never be performed by anyone else. No one else can do this Vrat. And it seems as if Devi, listen to Lord Shiva's word, is testing my merit as I am doing my prayers. Here comes distraction to interrupt with my mindset, to interrupt my cool and calm and my state of equilibrium. There's no chaos here, and she is wanting to see what will I do. Oh children, you are dead pawns, you are puppets in a play between myself and herself. That damsel always remains young, she's always beautiful, and she bears all pervading marks that show her potency and the success that she gains when we are together. If you wish to try, if you wish to try and take her from me, tell your king to try his best. Go ahead. If you want to try, try. And see what happens. Prem se bolo Adi Shakti Mata ki Jai.